So, hello everyone. Welcome to our podcast. I'm really delighted to be meeting with Zoe Rickett today. It's been a little while, Zoe, hasn't it, since we've had that conversation and got this podcast started, but I'm really pleased to have you with us today. So, Zoe is a beauty therapist and have your own journey that we're here to talk about. So, where's the best place to start, Zoe? Where would be your starting place?
Um, the Being born with the birth defect of clubfoot,
Mhm.
you are sort of learning to love yourself because being bullied at school and some of these comments went through to adulthood. You start believing in those comments, and it's all about, like I said, loving yourself and just having that self-belief that you can do anything you put your mind to. I'm a very determined person, and yeah, going straight forward and let's do this.
Let's do this. What a lovely thing to say. Where do you believe that determination has come from?
um do you know what? I don't know. There's something in me. There's like this fire in me. It's never gone.
Mm.
And and so yeah, it's just that fire in me. I've got that in me, and I'm like, I'm going to do this. I'll show you. Okay.
Mm.
So
Sounds like
yeah.
you are really determined to prove people wrong when maybe they've set limits on you or said that you're not able to do things. And I guess being born with a club foot, there were
Hmm.
perhaps doctors around you that really said that you wouldn't be able to do X, Y, and Z. And even as a
Hmm.
little girl, you were very determined that that wasn't going to be the case. You were going to show them. And it sounds like that determination also to get through being bullied at school and
Yeah.
tormented,
Yeah.
and how you felt that you could, you often take those words in and it becomes your own voice. But it sounds like you have really worked on getting a sense of self-worth and value for yourself. And how do you feel you've done that? What do you feel has helped?
My beliefs in the spirituality,
Mhm.
um, and going on um, the self belief, and that we're all the same, regardless of what, who's been born with what, and you have empathy for everybody else, but sometimes you forget yourself, don't you? Um, and it's coming to terms of like self love, loving yourself, and also having empathy for others. And it's like everything has come in line to into the beauty therapy, and being able to just listen to these people while they're having treatments. And it's a beautiful career to be in. I definitely, it's given me, with the spiritual side, beauty therapy, it's like giving me routine,
Mhm.
discipline, some like purpose to get up every day. And I'm so pleased that the beauty therapy came into my life, because it was a distraction from everything that happened as a child all the way to present day. Um, so yeah, it's like everything's sort of, it's like a nice piece of cake, isn't it? You like the mixture, you're mixing everything, and it's all come to what we are today and stuff. So.
All of those ingredients, and it sounds like you have been on quite a journey, and, even from very young to where you are today,
Mhm.
and all of those experiences that you've had, whether they've been good or challenging, has really brought you together today, and this determination that you have to make things happen. So Beauty therapy then, Zoe, what got you into it? What was the initial interest in beauty therapy?
The beauty therapy didn't come into my life really until 2002. So I was like 27. Um, so it was, and I'm so pleased it did come into my life when it did, um, because it was like that distraction, and it gave me meaning to my life. Even though I've got my daughter, but yeah, it just gave me a lovely routine, something to get up and like I said earlier, yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like maybe before that you were maybe struggling with a sense of purpose and routine, and maybe life was a little bit more chaotic or and
Mhm.
I think routine and gives us safety, and purpose
Yeah,
gives us aliveness, and it
yeah,
sounds like maybe it wasn't necessarily it was just the beauty therapy, it was just that something came along that drew you in and it sort of
yeah,
changed your life. And I think
yeah,
what I know, it's beauty therapy was where you started, but it sounds like you've trained and you're looking at different aspects of that beauty therapy and how you can help more people given your own experiences.
yeah, definitely. I mean, fast track to a couple of years ago. Um, I came across a company called Beauty Despite Cancer by Jennifer Young, and there was a video of this lady of how she was so thankful of being able to have that nice facial or have her nails painted, to feel normal again. And that goes in line to what happened to myself back in 1995 from my own cancer journey,
Mhm.
knowing how it feels. I think it's like having you're yourself, but you're not yourself. And the I was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma whilst being pregnant with my daughter. And so you're having all that, trying to be a young mum. Dad was great Karen's dad was great.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, and it's having, obviously my cancer it was like my lymph glands, but um, the emotional aspect of that, of they'll come to me and have a treatment and they'll feel normal because I'm not talking about my journey. I'm treating them like a human being. We're not talking about hospitals. So that it's that they come to me having that initial break of, oh, no hospitals, no
Mhm.
doctors. And they're like, you can see them, they'll come in really anxious, and all of a sudden, within 10 minutes, they come down. It's like, oh, there we are.
Mhm.
There we are.
Yeah.
Um, there's in my brochure here, I did a little few paragraphs to basically help the clients. And I said, a few years ago, I asked myself what was my purpose. I always felt there was more to what I was already doing in the beauty sector. Life really does take a turn at the right time when it's meant to come along. Our times have surely changed and evolved. I remember way back when it was, you can't, well, we see, no, not at the moment, but now you can. Going through cancer is more than just hospital visits. Cancer is like a roller coaster, emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually. I know firsthand of what so many beautiful people are going through from my own personal cancer journey. I came across Beauty Despite Cancer by Jennifer Young at a time when I was thinking how lovely it would be for cancer patients to have some relaxing pampering. So here we are, fully qualified in oncology beauty therapy. Zoe, kiss. And the little saying I've got at the bottom: walk in other shoes for understanding to take place. And
Oh,
that's that just says enough. And
mm.
then that leaves them to ask me questions if needed. If not, we don't really speak about it. I'm just there to chat away. Yeah. What colour do you want on your nails and stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. But I think it's really beautiful, the fact that you've been through such a challenging time at, a time when, you're pregnant and you're looking forward to having a child and having to go through a cancer journey at the same time,
Mhm.
must have been terrifying and overwhelming. And, like you say, that losing, you said you lost a part of yourself, you lose an identity and having to
Yeah.
rebuild that. And I guess that's given you a real empathy for others. And I
Yeah.
guess when you were sharing what you wrote on your brochure, it kind of gives an insight for other people to say, I've been through this journey myself, and I'm here for you, given that I've had this experience. But actually, when you come and see me, it can all be about you. Or if you want to ask questions about me, I'm open to talking about that. It
Mhm.
really feels like it's directed by your clients that come and see you in a space that's non-clinical. It feels like the environment that you provide allows those people to just breathe and not be on
Yeah.
this kind of schedule of appointments and
Yeah.
doctors and
Yeah.
and you know what that's like. You've
Yeah.
experienced.
Yeah, definitely. I am so grateful how things have moved on with times now. Because
Mm.
back then there was no one really to speak to. And there was other people that I knew that was going through their cancer. Um, but it was you, the communicate. You didn't know how to communicate with people, and I couldn't explain how I was feeling because didn't understand it.
Yeah.
And but fast forward, how amazing we've got the internet. We've
Mhm.
got support groups, people saying their stories, and oh, it's amazing. And I've seen so much positivity with that. People now wanting to speak, and
Mhm.
so yeah, it's lovely because the thing is, it's problem shared, problem halved, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think what you're talking about is, us connecting together, whereas years ago, people very much sat in silence.
Yes,
But
they
now,
did.
yeah, now we're in a place where, you coming on today and sharing your story and letting people know what you do is a prime example, isn't it, of how things have
Yeah.
changed. And I guess the hope for you by being on here today, you said earlier before we press record what you would like this podcast to do and why you chose to come on it.
Yeah, definitely. To if only if it helps one person to change their outlook on life and go, well, you know what? Zoe's done that. She's gone through this, that, and the other. Do you know what? I can as well. Just giving that someone that strength. Come
Mm-hmm.
on, you can do this. Come on.
Hmm.
And I loved um, Mel Robbins. She did. It was back in lockdown. Um, which in part ways I'm actually thankful it came lockdown. But Mel Robbins, she said, even if you don't feel like getting out of bed, count yourself down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, up. As long, and then there was something else I saw. This gentleman, he worked in the forces, and he said, make your bed at the beginning of the day. And if you've even had a rubbish day, you've still got a nice bed to come home to. I thought, brilliant.
Yeah.
Um, so the lockdown for me was because I'd gone fast forward and the beauty career, the beauty therapy was a massive distraction. And lockdown, we all had to stop working. And that's when I hit the brick wall. everything all come flooding. And that's when my healing journey really did begin. And I am obviously, lockdown was very hard for lots of people. But on the healing part, yeah, it was. If I look back now, I'm so grateful it came, because I was able to look within myself, do a stock take. Right, it's all right. We all say this, that, and about everybody else, but what about ourselves? How are we showing up in the world? And then I started doing like I said, stock take on myself. Right, how am I showing up? So I'd write that down, and I did all these things. And then I came across something called shadow work. I thought, what is that? So I got very curious. And it was basically I was doing the work without realizing I was doing the work. And then I came across your mirror work, where you see yourself in others, that sort of thing. And now my power self is here. So I'm able to speak quite slowly, because I used to have a habit of speaking very quickly. And then the workings of Gabor Mate, he's amazing. Oh my goodness me. He I was able to, from his perspective, everything started dropping into place. And then with that, as well as other things, you got your pattern recognition. And now my past, I've detached emotionally from the past, but I have it as my guide. So everything I've gone through, I've learnt from. And I'm not gonna, when you do your shadow work, it's getting your ego in check. So yeah, it's nice to have all that, the spiritual side and the healing and everything like that. So yeah, it's been a very interesting 50 years.
Gosh, I mean, isn't it funny how lockdown, when it forced us to pause, didn't it? It forced us to pause for the first time in many
Great.
people's life. And it sounds
Yeah.
like for you that it really enabled you to start being curious with yourself and wanting to step onto that sort of healing journey. And you've mentioned some names there. I mean, Dr. Gabor Mate is a firm favorite of mine, so I know we've
I
got
love him.
yeah, we've got him in common, and Mel Robbins,
Yeah.
and she talks about let them theory and the 5 4 3 2 1. But for you,
Yeah.
I think how you took that was, I'm not going to let this stop me. That even if it's the
No.
small things that I do, these are big things when you're struggling. And I think, being gentle with ourselves and allowing ourselves to find our way and give
Mm-hmm.
ourselves the time as well. It's time as a
Mm.
gift, isn't it, that we can give ourselves when we're on this journey. And,
That's it.
and I don't know if we're ever off it, we're
No.
continuing to learn and grow. So Zoe, how can people find out more about you if they wanted to come along and maybe they were going through cancer themselves or really fancied coming to your beauty therapist place? How would they find out about you? What would be the best?
I've got my business page called Perfect Beauty by Zoe. Obviously there's no such thing as perfect.
Yeah.
But the thing is, everybody wants that perfection. So it was a nice, back in when I was picked the name. There was only three of us in the whole of the world. Perfect Beauty.
Mm.
So yeah, Perfect Beauty by Zoe. I'm in Wibberton, Lincolnshire,
Mhm.
not far from Boston.
And
So
do you
yeah, and
do you work from home, Zoe, or
yes, I
yeah.
work from home. I have a lovely cabin, and it's just, when you've not got the music on, sometimes you can hear the birds. It's like, yeah, you hear the birds in the garden, or when it's raining, you can hear the trickle of the
Mm.
patter of the rain, and it's just nice, and it's
Oh,
calm. It's calm and
yeah, it's a way of bringing nature in as well, isn't it? And being
great.
being connected to nature is so important for how we feel about ourselves as well, and it's often underrated. So That sounds beautiful. So it's been really lovely to have this conversation with you today. And like you say, if somebody listens to you and it helps one person, that will be job done for you. I'm sure it'll
Yeah,
go out and help much more. But thank you so much for taking the time. It's been really lovely to chat with you, and
my pleasure.
we'll see you soon.